All right, what's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. I'm back. Finally moved to Delaware. Took the U-Haul from Georgia to Delaware. I could do hours on that. Got a million boxes to unpack. Got to figure out which room I'm going to actually be recording in. So we got a lot going on here. But I'm happy to come back, especially today, as the Orioles. I don't know what yesterday was when we look back on this 2025 season. But if the Warriors are going to find a way to sneak into the playoffs and rectify the first 3 months of the year, I think we're going to look back at last night's game as a turning point because, yeah, the life was just, you know, I don't know, sucked right out of you twice. Where Rogers he's awesome yesterday, right? He gives up the 2-run homer to Simeon, and then the Rangers just steal that third run, literally just guy running around the bases like it's little league. That was the first time the life was sucked out of you, and then we go up 6-3 in the 10th or whatever it was, the ninth, 10th. Can't keep track of the innings anymore. In the 10th, and then the Rangers hit 3-run homer, Garcia, that son of a bitch, and next thing you know, you're like, we're not going to win this game, and then boom, just got the bats going in the following inning. It was a perfect inning, get four more runs, and we win 10-6. And you at least feel excited to watch the game tonight. I know I do. So I'm happy to be back here. I haven't quite figured out exactly my final take on this Orioles team going into the trade deadline because it's just like start and stop for the past couple of months now. Once Hyde's been gone and they've been able to kind of settle in, it's just can they get on one run? And now they're going to attempt to do one here as they've won. I guess it's 3 out of 4. They get two more against the Rangers, and then they're going to go to Atlanta, and the Braves are kind of in the same boat the Orioles are in, just struggling to get going. They haven't been able to snap out of it. They're still 7, 8 games under 500. So winnable week for sure. And, they just keep the hopes up here if they can just stretch together a couple weeks before the deadline. Elias was quoted yesterday or the day before talking about that they really, in case it's not obvious, it's not a video game. They got to start to make these decisions about a week, 10 days, 2 weeks before the deadline on what direction they're going to go, just so they can, be ready to act. You can't really wait until 3 days before the deadline to decide if you're a buyer or seller, especially in the Orioles case, because they have legitimately, you start counting the guys, it's almost in the double digits of guys that can be moved that are on 1 year deals, expiring contracts, players that other teams would want. You throw them, you put all that into a box, and you're going to have about 10 to 12 guys that the Orioles could theoretically move off of. And then obviously you flip it the other way. If they're right there, you keep all those guys. You get Bradish and Grayson come back, and you can add two more pieces by trading some prospects. So it can really go either way, but they're going to have to decide relatively soon. But last night's game, to stay in the moment, Rogers was awesome. That fastball was just elevating for strikeout after strikeout. Got out of jam after jam. Arias was awesome on the corner. I just love Arias. I know Westberg's going to come back here soon, but man, I love Arias playing third base. Did a great job. And then Gunnar and Cowser deliver the power. Gunnar just demolished it. Cowser always, his moonshots are just, oh man, his highlight reel is something else. So it was a great game. It really was. Orioles 37-47, still alive, but they're still alive. So all right, couple things I talked about last week before I moved. What am I going to do here for the rest of the baseball season going into the football season? Is I'm going to do some content. It's going to be a little bit more sparing. I'm not sure exactly how often. I want to talk Orioles. I want to get in here and talk other baseball teams and figure out if there's a few people that I think would benefit you guys down the stretch from some baseball content. So I'm debating on that. But what I'm really focused on is getting ready for football season and having, just clear, concise message that I had last football season with a couple guys giving out picks and helping people that are betting on sports, whether you're doing, the daily fantasy stuff or you're going to be betting traditional, you're doing future. Very similar to what I did last year. But as I touched on it last pod, I just don't have the passion to encourage people to be betting 24/7 or bringing people on here that call themselves professional bettors that want to sell picks. And, because of that, that's basically where the business is. My passion for starting this was to help people. And, if I'm being honest, and I think people that are listening, if you're being honest with yourself, the best help is getting guys that know sports. They're going to charge you very, very little, that aren't going to switch it up or bring in somebody that thinks they know everything about everything, when we just see crazy things happen all the time. There's injuries, there's player movement, there's so much money being made, and there's betting scandals. Now we got the Malik Beasley. I could do a long time on that. I want to see some more evidence pop up before I start rambling about what I think is going on there with Malik Beasley, the free agent forward for the Pistons, who the FBI is investigating, not the NBA, for alleged sports betting shenanigans. I don't know exactly what the charges are going to be, but yeah, my point is that there's just so much going on that if you're trying to make money doing this, I respect it. I'm trying to make money doing it. I used to prioritize making money doing this, but the reality is when you bet, you want to make money. And I just don't think anybody out here has the perfect algorithm or the perfect answer for anything. And it's more fun and less stressful to just do your own research, find a couple people that you think have a good opinion, and then make your own decision. And that's what I want to provide, is hopefully one of those in your inner circle of people that you listen to, whether it's once a week, twice a week, get my take on the teams, the games, and if that helps you bet one way or the other, great. But my passion for growing this company, and the reason I'm sharing it with you is just, I want to be honest, I'm grateful for all the people that are still here, but I just, yeah, the past year or so, I've really learned a lot about this industry. I thought I knew a lot before I started my own business because of my previous experience, but yeah, I've just learned even a lot more. And it really is just a big sales job for people that are trying to sell picks, that rebrand themselves, rename themselves, do whatever they think they can do to convince you to give them money for their advice on betting on football, basketball, baseball, and just I don't know. I can't stress enough. There's too many people giving away free advice that really study this stuff. And I've said it before. I know I'm rambling now, but if you really want to study these games and bet on it, go to the guys that cover the team for a living, right? That actually are paid by a news organization or even by the team itself to cover the team. That's where you get your information from. I want to be a resource if you want to talk things out, if you need money management, if you're struggling with that. The truth is, you really shouldn't be listening to me. If that's an issue and you're betting more than you should be, I'll be the cold blanket all the time to say, hey, let's slow it down, because that's just not fun. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly where the business is going to go, but I know what my plan is over the next over this next calendar year, which is to bring a couple people on here to give their football picks each week. And hopefully that helps you guys along the way, and continue to be here for those of you that take me up on it. You're never bothering me, whether you're messaging me all the time or every so often. If you're betting on a game and you're betting a lot of money and you just need somebody to bounce it off of, that's why I started this company to begin with. So anyway, now that I moved, I feel a lot better. I just wanted to be honest, where I'm not sure exactly where the company is going. So with that being said, go Orioles. I'll be back. I'm going to do a pod on Friday. Hopefully have a slightly better setup as I get situated here. And then, yeah, once the All-Star break rolls around, bring a few, at least somebody on here, talk some baseball around the league for those of you that are betting baseball, kind of recap halfway through the season, a little more than halfway through the season. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, before I go, the Steelers malfunctioning before our eyes here. My take on the Ramsey Fitzpatrick trade is the Steelers really. I don't think they know exactly what they're doing here. It seems like a desperate trade. I know Fitzpatrick wasn't great last year, but I feel like Ramsey's on the tail end of his career. I'm not sure if they're going to try to convert him into safety, but just a strange move. He doesn't really fit Pittsburgh to me. It's colder. It's from the warm weather. The Steelers also had to give up draft compensation to do it. They get Jonnu Smith, the tight end. I don't know. He hasn't really done anything in the past 6, 7 years. So I don't really know what the Steelers are up to. Fitzpatrick to me is a good ball player. It seemed like if anything, you got him in the wrong spot if he's not performing. I always get nervous when he's back there. Not that he's a Lamar stopper, but I don't know. I think it's better for the Ravens. Ultimately, worse for the Steelers. Ramsey to Pittsburgh just doesn't feel right. Rodgers to Pittsburgh doesn't feel right. Pittsburgh seems to be malfunctioning, but we'll see. It's July. I'll see you guys on Friday. NBA recap on all the free agency. A lot of stuff happened. I want to digest it all, and then Friday I'll ramble about the NBA for those of you that care to listen. And yeah, all right. Take care, guys. See ya.